Hello everybody, we are live, we are up and running, and I am back for the new season. Championship football starting on Friday. This the first of the preview and review shows. If you are in the chat, please let me know that everything is working and okay. Adam says, where is the man, the myth, the legend? Hopefully I should be here. If someone in the chat can let me know that we are working. Yes, it looks like we are, so make yourself known in the chat. This is going to be probably the hardest one of the season. We don't have anything to go on. Thank you, Manga99. We are all good and we are up and running. We're about to hit the first round of championship games. No form to go on yet, so we're going to have to kind of freestyle it for the first week. But the plan through the season, as we all know, is we do the previews maybe Thursday or Friday. We try and get them done on Thursdays, and then we do reviews on Sunday morning. And I rely heavily on the lovely people who were following in the chat last week. So many good relationships, so many good comments with these people here giving me the inside track on everything. Let's start on Friday night. The big kickoff is Luton versus Borough. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that I'm now living quite near Luton. So nice, easy trip for me. So I will be at the curtain raiser. Luton v Borough. Get your predictions down in the feed. Greetings from the Prem, says Liam. Ipswich games, Nick, I'll be at as many as possible. I will be at Ipswich, trip to Burton on Saturday, and I'll also be at Bristol City Leeds on Sunday, and I'll be at Huddersfield Derby on Monday night as well. So get your predictions in. Luton, Borough. Luton were the League One champions. Borough missing out on the playoffs by 1 place and 1 point. Pulis out before the playoff final even happened at the end of last season. Woodgate in. Get your thoughts in on Woodgate down the side. Difficult job for him. Bit mixed in the predictions here. Borough off the pitch. No parachutes anymore. Do they have enough star power to take Luton? Teesside Boxing says nightmare game, newly promoted team, and on Sky. Tend to agree with that. Luton have got to make it a hard place to go, haven't they? Kenilworth Road. Traditionally over the years, it always has been, and now they're back up in the second tier. They need to do that. Borough lost Flint, lost Downing, lost Mikel. They were the first teams from last year. In comes Mark Bowler, left back from Blackpool. Thomas Myers, Marcus Brown, a midfielder from West Ham. Is it a drop-off in quality? I wonder. You could argue so. They have kept the goals, though, maybe with Assam Belonga. He needs to deliver this season. Luton, Graham Jones in charge. Winning mentality, as we've had commented on. Can they keep the momentum going? We often see teams do so. Teesside Boxing, keep an eye on Tavernier and Brown. So young players going to be the way to go for Borough. Big money for Luton for James Justin and Jack Stacey. That is good. Lots of championship experience. McManaman, Craney, Galloway from Everton, Tunnicliffe from Millwall, Butterfield from Derby. That's a good signing. 1.5 million they have dropped on a Croatian goalkeeper, Simon Sluga, Luton. So they've put some money in. Simon says we hammered Luton. Draw, I reckon, after that with Borough. Do you know what? I'm not far off that. I don't see Borough going and tearing it up and winning on the first day. I think both teams might be happy with this one to say, get the first one out of the way, don't lose. Borough can go back off for a home game, and everything moves on, I guess, with no one's reputation there is. Let's sit on the fence for the first of many times this season and say a draw and move on to Barnsley versus Fulham. Get your predictions in for Barnsley versus Fulham in the chat for me, please. Both sides leagues apart last year. They've both come back after 1 year out of the Championship. Fulham obviously relegated in the Prem now with Scott Parker. Barnsley with Daniel Stendhal promoted from League One. John says Fulham by a cricket score. Evil Adam says 3-2 Fulham. Fulham look like they have a really tasty first 11. But lots of people telling me shades of West Brom last year. Inexperienced manager with some really, really good forwards. West Brom ultimately did not get up, probably because they had an inexperienced manager. We've got one for Barnsley there. A lot of predictions for Fulham there. Cavaliero and Knockaert in on loan, the big signings, probably to go either side of Mitrovic, who's a bit of a destroyer in the Championship. It has to be said. Seri and Anguissa out, that's to cut wages. Both out on loans. Maybe if they get promoted, they might bring one or other of those back or sell next year. Barnsley, I incurred the wrath of some Barnsley fans. I don't know why. They seemed a bit defensive, and I was quite complimentary of them, I thought. 10 players in. Headlines, Thomas, a fee from Derby there. Anderson and Barra for combined confirmed fees. 2.25 million dropped. A few undisclosed. There's youngsters. So I don't know what the Barnsley first team squad is going to be. Notably, though, both their centre-halves out for £5 million. Pinnock and Lindsay to Brentford and Stoke. I think I'm going to go with the chat, and let's just back Fulham and say on sheer star power and goal power. Sessegnon's still there as well, isn't he? Kearney was brilliant when they went up, and you just think Knockaert, Cavaliero and Mitrovic. But we know that that doesn't carry you to promotion. It'll win you a lot of games and get you a lot of goals. We'll see what Scott Parker's made of. Let's go for Fulham in this one, the opener. And I'll incur the wrath of more Barnsley fans. Hip to the game, says 1-0 Fulham. Forest, West Brom. God, help me with this one, please. No idea. Predictions for Forest, Fulham, please. Forest, Messi again last season. Fire the manager in January. Fire the manager in the close season. Lamouchi comes in now. Liam says 3-0. Yeah, fair call. Adoma, Amiobi and Sal today, indeed, all on fees. Loans look good. Muric from Man City. Rafa Mir from Wolves. Semedo from Benfica. Undisclosed. Silva and Ribeiro. This is your George Mendes link up with Mr. Marianakis. Everyone's saying a draw on this one. A scoring draw. I think I've had my mind made up. Osborne's probably the biggest loss, but Carvalho's still there. Graben's still there. They could do well, Forest. If Lamouchi can get this working. I know Nuno was really good for Wolves, but he just got that working straight away. I know he had Neves. Forest 2, Baggy 6. Speaking of baggies, Bilic, big name, I think we'd agree in the chat there. Premier League manager. Oh, Carvalho, thanks, Josh. But what I mean, still at the club there, quality there. West Brom bought in a boatload of cash, 27 million for Rondon, Dawson and Rodriguez. But in comes Zahor up front from Cardiff. Sawyers, who can play either as 10 or deep line playmaker. Furlong will probably be a right fullback. Ajayi could be a centre half or a stopper centre midfielder. Kravinovic, I'd be interested to know what you guys think in the comments. Is that a reduction in quality, being you don't have Barnes, Gale and Rodriguez, who until January last year killed the Championship? Going to be interesting to see. Everybody says score and draw. Keep an eye on Forest though, because if they get that working, then they'll be in the top 6. I wonder if they regret losing Karanka. We shall see. I'll go for a scoring draw. We'll back the chat on this one. Swansea versus Hull. Predictions in. I hate to say it, seems to have been a bit underwhelming for both Swansea and Hull, although one club lost their speedy winger and one club has kept their speedy winger so far. Swansea, Potter out, Cooper in. Like the appointment, it's brave, but not much in the door. Jake Bidwell in. We'll see. Out, Dan James. Ayu's gone as well. But is McBurney off today or tomorrow? We shall see. Hull, Atkins out, McCann in. Tom Eaves, Tafazoli, lower division stuff. No fees from either team. I think Bowen's going to play the first game and then be sold before the Premier League starts, isn't he? Just Hull, 1-0, says John. Bordraw says hip to the game. McBurney to Sheffield. A lot of people are saying will struggle to replace, says Jam N. Few back in Hull here. Matthew says I'm going to hate on Birmingham. No chance, Matthew. I was very complimentary to Gary Monk last year. God, I'm going to go for Swansea to squidge this one. I know that goes against the chat. I don't see Hull going and winning away from home on the first day. Although they might still have Bowen, mightn't they? God, I don't know. I'll stick to my guns. Swansea to squeeze this one. What they need to do, Steve Cooper needs to play exactly the same system that Graham Potter did last year and just use the work. They've got good centre midfielders, buyers in there from last season. Liam thinks Bowen will stay to January. John says, who's going to score for Swansea? I must agree with John on that. I saw Swansea at Norwich and they played beautifully and had no cutting edge, and McBurney was not there. So, go figure. A few people disagreeing with me, so I could be wrong on this one. I'll go Swansea to squidge that one. Brentford Birmingham. Here we go, Matthew. We can talk about Birmingham. Predictions down the side, please. These will be two very interesting sides this season. Brentford, normal big moves in the transfer market, but coming in, this looks interesting if Brentford can get this right. Konza, Sawyers and Bentley go in. Jensen and Norgard's a whole new midfield, so it depends on them clicking. Raya in goal, Pinnock centre-half, Valencia down the left. That I find quite exciting for Brentford, but we've seen players, lots of players come in and it not gel quickly. Right, here we go. So out of Birmingham, other than Jutkovic, they lost a lot of key players from last year. Che Adams, that was 15 mil, wasn't it? Michael Morrison, if you're a Blues fan in the chat, why did they let Morrison go? I thought he was good last season. Hotter as well. Matthew indeed says we'll struggle with the new system, but Clark Salter in on loan. Gardner, well, he was kind of already there. Guzman and Medina, here are the exciting ones. Crowley in from Holland, I believe, and even Sunjic for 7 million quid. Blues fans will have to help me out with this one here. Contract length for who were we talking about a second ago? Morrison, says John. Sunjic could be the guy in midfield here. Morrow wanted 2 more years. Oh, interesting. Excuse me. I'm struggling to get a read on. Wolf Gratz says my prediction for Birmingham was bizarre. Really struggling to get a read on what they're gonna do. Two teams where I don't think it's going to settle for 3-4 weeks or so. Although you would back probably Brentford on the basis they've got enough pattern of play already, given the manager's the same and there's enough players there. So I'm not hating on Birmingham, but let's go for Brentford to squidge this one. Are Brentford going to keep Mopai and Ben Rama, though? We will see. But I am very, very keen to see Mr. Sunjic play. That will be very, very interesting too. Crowley has had a couple of attitude issues which put teams off, says Liam. If Sunjic can be the kind of playmaker guy, this could be very interesting. Let's move on. Reading versus Sheffield Wednesday. Help me out down the side. Help me out, please. Reading Wednesday. Sorry, I was at Reading. I saw them play Chelsea. Jose Gomez, I thought Reading were a bit lucky towards the end of last season. Lots of late goals, lots of XG busting wins that looked a little bit iffy to me. But then Sheffield Wednesday don't have a manager. Reading looked like they were still going to try and play it out for back. Yao Virginia looks like you're going to have fun with him. 19-year-old goalkeeper trying to pass out from the back. And someone tell me how Charlie Adam fits with a quickly breaking team playing out from the back. He likes to ping 50-yard balls. Angelo says he thinks Sheffield Wednesday are going to struggle. Wednesday have only signed a couple of frees. Odebajo, centre-half from Germany. I think this will either be, if they've kept the Steve Bruce toughness, then they might get a draw, Sheffield Wednesday. But, do you know, Reading might nick this one. Let's go with a low-scoring draw here in this one. And talk to me about Millwall versus Preston in the comments, because I like Millwall's business. When you look at teams and you think, are they going to be better or worse than they were last year? I look at Millwall. Oh, someone likes my shirt. It's a good one. This is a Zara one, actually. $9.99 in the sale, everybody. Ollie says Preston are going to take this one. I think Millwall signings actually improved their team. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Bielkowski, who's coming on loan, ex-Ipswich goalkeeper They've kept Cooper. Mahoney is going to be good. They've got Bodvarsson and Smith up front. I think they've upgraded everything. Millwall's always a hard place to go. Preston, well, they bought players in January, so you guess those guys are settled in, and they're now going to be in the team this year. But Robinson is going to be a miss there. But is there still quality there? Barkhausen, Maguire, I'm struggling to call this one. I tend to head towards Charlie says Millwall 2-1. Yeah, Mahoney for set pieces, Matt Smith. Yeah, we know how, John, Millwall are going to play, and they seem to have bought players to fit that. Bodvarsson will run. Little Crow says unproven strike force a concern. Robin says Preston will start better this season. Preston couldn't start any worse. They were as bad as Ipswich up until October, November last year, and then went on a crazy good run. Difficult one. It'll either be a draw or I think Millwall will edge this one. I think. Oh God. Let's go Millwall by like a single goal. Ben Thompson, future star. Will Ben Thompson actually get behind the front two there, or are we going to go back to that 4-4-2 that worked so well for Harris before? Talk to me, guys, about Blackburn versus Charlton here. Blackburn bringing Sam Gallagher on, big money, experienced guys, Stuart Downing, Bradley Johnson. I think Mowbray will play it safe, and they're going to probably be a little bit cautious, I would have thought. Charlton, I saw them win the playoff final at Wembley. Aribo and Bauer scored the winning goal. Both of their players have gone. I worry about Charlton until they get a new owner. I think Blackburn will be solid at home. Let's go Blackburn, like the chat is saying. Stoke versus QPR. Help me out here. Stoke and QPR. Stuart Downing's a strange one. 3-0 Blackburn. Gallagher never worth 5 million, says Joshua. Well, Brereton even worse. I think I've just had a Charlton fan say Charlton are going to lose 4-0 in that one. Not good at all. Villa versus Charlton, light at the back. Anyway, sorry, Ollie was already onto it. Stoke versus QPR. Completely new broom at QPR. Warburton seems to have signed a whole load of players, but for no fees whatsoever. He didn't get Alan Judge from Ipswich, thank God for that. QPR, it's going to take a while. QPR have got Warburton, and he could not settle at Forest. He needed time to implement the style. Stoke, John says, massive season. I totally agree. Stoke spent a fortune last season, didn't they? And it just did not work. Nathan Jones needs to produce. Second year of parachutes. Matthew, send me that one again. A phobia, he was saying. Gregory has come in. All sorts of good players for Stoke. He's trying to play this tight midfield diamond. I can't see QPR getting anything here. I've got to go for Stoke, which is going to take us to Sunday. Bristol City versus Leeds. What a nice game to start the season with. Get your predictions in down the side here. Bristol City, 18th, 17th, 11th, 8th. We know that trajectory leads into the playoffs, but Adam Webster is tied up with this Harry Maguire stuff, so I think give me a price on this. Webster, Sessegnon and Bowen all to be there for the first week, but all to be sold before the Premier League starts. I like Callas in. I like De Silva in to replace Kelly. That looks good. I like Smodjic in. Bristol City never have a playmaker. Can he fill that gap? Let's look at Stoke, Kelly, Fielding, Isa, but will Adam Webster go? Leeds have not done a lot of business, but year 2 of Bielsa, I rate Bielsa very, very highly. Helder Costa, that's going to be good. I'm sure Jack Harrison's re-signed. Ben White, pressure on him now. Jansen's gone. Probably going to be White and Cooper. Jack Clark, they've sold him to Spurs, but he's back on loan. Oh, so difficult. Do you remember how Leeds started last year, though? They were amazing. Let's go for Leeds. Why not? Hey, let's go for Leeds. Let's see what Leeds do if Bamford and Roof actually stay fit the whole season. They need to help out Padlow, though. They really, really need to. Let's go for Leeds. If you can attend and curse a load of Leeds games, I'm not a curse to Leeds. It's all a myth. It's all fake news. Leeds love me, really, honestly. Huddersfield versus Derby. I put this one in the Birmingham Brentford. I've got no idea what's going to happen bracket here, so help me out with your predictions. Bottom of the Prem, Huddersfield now have 3 years of parachute payments, but I can't judge Huddersfield in the same way. They're very different. In the same way as Fulham and Cardiff, I can kind of judge them. Did I do Cardiff at the top of the show? I didn't. Let me do Wigan Cardiff first. I'm sorry, I skipped down way too quickly there. Wigan Cardiff. I didn't do it, did I? Sorry, let's do Wigan Cardiff. Cardiff relegated. Sorry, we'll go on to Huddersfield in a minute. Sorry, guys. 18 spot, only 1 season down, 2 seasons of parachutes and Neil Warnock. But he's probably going to finish. I don't know if that's false retirement. First team probable. Zahor went out for Cardiff. Manga went out. In comes White from Oxford, Volks from Rotherham, Flint, Robert Glatzel, who looks like the new Kenneth Zahor. Wigan 12 clear of relegation in the end due to a pretty decent home record. Nobody out for money, which is a disappointment. You've got her in the Championship when you haven't got parachute money. You've got to sell. Robin says no, James. How good was he last year? My God. Powell will be a miss. Robinson, they've dropped 2 million on. McLeod from Brentford will be good. Marshall from Hull will be experienced. Come on. Warnock's showing up there, and Warnock's taking 14 points from the first 8 games at least, isn't he? I'm going for Cardiff to win there. Sorry, we had got up to Huddersfield versus Derby. Yeah, I think Wigan did sign low today. Robin says 3-0 Cardiff. John says Cardiff to be really strong. They should be, shouldn't they, with Mr. Warnock? Who's going to bet against him going out with a promotion? Sorry, Huddersfield Derby. Huddersfield have dropped a load of cash on Mbenza, who's a winger from Belgium. Bockhorn from Germany. Elphick is Championship veteran, and a few youngsters in from Orient, Forest Green. So a bit of a mix. Out. Billing, 15 million they took for him, and Smith to Stoke. Sobhi's gone on loan, and then a whole host of frees. Liam says Derby underwhelming so far. I kind of agree. This is going to have to be done by the quality of Koku's pattern of play and whatnot. Lampard's pattern of play was pretty good when it was working, but everyone will come up in the comments now and say it was all down to Mount and Wilson and Tamori, those really good loan players. Only Dowell and Shinnie in, so not a lot going on there at Derby. Thomas left for a fee, and then the old guard, Butterfield, Bryson, Nugent, Johnson, Pearce, etc. etc. I think Koku's going to take a while to get going. I'm going to back Huddersfield, but you know me, I'm Championship all day long, and I don't really know the first thing about Huddersfield. Robin says Huddersfield will finish 16th. That will not do. Let's do some Twitter questions, and then we'll do some in the comments. Alf says dark horse this year. Let's call Forest a dark horse. If Lamouchi gets that right, Mendes gets it right off the pitch, and they gel the squad, they could be a playoff dark horse. Which team can you see struggling this season? And can you see the battle against relegation going down to the wire? Yes, the teams in the Championship just get really, set adrift. Lose. Ipswich, Rotherham, Reading, Wigan, all of those last year. John says, didn't I pick Forest? Probably, yeah. Forest always a dark horse. Let you down, might they? Which team can I see struggling this season? Well, Derby, if they don't bring anybody else in, that could be tricky. Sheffield Wednesday need a manager, don't they? One team that everyone is predicting to do well, who you think will not? God, I don't know. Let me know in the feed that one. Isaac, do you think West Brom will be as defensive as last season? Well, they were only defensive in the playoffs, weren't they? So no, I think West Brom will be quite open this year. Let's take some questions from the YouTube post I put out, and then we'll do questions in the feed. Woodgate, how do I think he's going to do? Oh God, that could be one that's a struggle. Woodgate, he's going to have to be a good manager if and have a good season if Borough are going to do well. Paraplegic Sloth even. Are West Brom the most overrated team this season? What they've bought in hasn't replaced a number of goals. I'm not sure West Brom are overrated. I think most people think that they have had a drop-off in quality, but they've still got the parachute money. And you know me, parachute money really really is a big advantage. Patreon questions, says Adam. Has one come up? I'll go and check in a minute. Sorry, I hadn't seen any when I last checked, Adam, so I promise I will go there. Let me just do another YouTube question here. Reading owner Yong Dai will be funding away travel for our furthest 15 games of the season. Where did you have your best match day experience? I think that's brilliant, the Reading owner doing that. I wish more owners would do that. Or in the Premier League, every owner could do it because the TV money pays for everything and the gate receipts aren't important. But I do understand Championship teams not doing it because gate receipts actually do mean a fair amount. Sorry, I'm trying to find my Patreon questions. I will talk about them in a second. I'm so sorry, I'm just faffing on my laptop. Doesn't look like I have any. Adam, who was asking about Patreon questions. Oh, Adam, yes. Yeah, will I be catching any Blades games this season? This is from Adam on Patreon. I would love to go and see the Blades. I guess what I would have to do is a kind of series of how are the Championship clubs doing. So maybe go and see Norwich once, Villa once, and Sheffield United once. But yes, I would love to go and see the Blades this season. I'll try and do that. Maybe do that Christmas or something. Who do I think will be the 3 best bargain signings of the summer? Well, all the Blues fans are getting on my back, so let's go for Sunjic. Let's see how he does. Right, open season. Get your questions in down in the feed. Sorry if I've missed anything out. First side to fail FFP. If Forest don't go up, I'm worried about Forest. They seem to be spending a whole load of money. Surely Derby have got to be close to failing FFP. Did I secure my Leeds season ticket? No, I did not, but I will be at Leeds on Sunday, Joe, at Bristol, and I love going to Leeds. Which games am I going to this weekend? Says Brad. I've got 4 games. My missus has let me away for 4 games. It's going to be brilliant. I will be at Luton on Friday, Burton on Saturday. Sunday I'll be at Bristol, and Monday I'll be at Huddersfield. The guy who's calling me a sellout for Patreon, goodness me, honestly, we're not trying to make some money out of this is very, very hard, and it costs a lot of money, so not a sellout at all. Little Crow's first manager to get the sack. Oh my God. Help me out in the feed with that. First manager to get the sack. Goodness me. Someone asked how many Ipswich games I'd get to. Hopefully 20, 25. We'll try and get to as many as possible. We're trying to balance Ipswich content for the Blue Monday. John says Scott Parker, the Blue Monday podcast, and my Championship stuff over here. Keep the questions coming in or I will wrap up. Top scorer, says Joshua. Shall we say Mitrovic? Liam's asked for Golden Boot contenders. If Ben Rama stays, you'd look at him. Don't know anything about the new Cardiff guy. Oh no, he's watching Leeds, says Cellar Dweller. Rate Millwall signings. Yeah, I think they've improved their teams. Scott Parker or Bowyer for the first signing. Best keeper. I wonder how Raya will do at Brentford in that style, and I wonder then how Bentley will do at Bristol City in terms of keepers. The biggest name has got to be Butland still at Stoke, hasn't it? Assombalonga should thrive under Woodgate. Biggest shock team of the season. Mainly Barnsley will get up in the top half. Wednesday manager out first. What if Bullen actually gets the job? Thank you, Brad says, hope Ipswich will do well. That will be nice. Hi, Paul, with the Partridge Crows. Bamford for top scorer, says Cellar Dwellers. Bamford's goals per minute is actually good if they can actually keep him on the pitch. What team do I think will surprise people? I said Forest, then I got in trouble for that. We shall see. Worst squad depth in the league. It's got to be one of the promoted teams, hasn't it? Favourite ground. I love going to Leeds, but all the Leeds fans are telling me not to go. It was Leeds and Villa last year, and Villa are gone, so I have to go with Leeds. Keep the questions coming. I'll do a minute or so more, and then we will stop the feed. You're not really a sellout. There you go, of course. Have I been to all the stadiums before? Yes, I've done all of them. Charlton surprise package. Well, we'll see how Charlton do. Forest will surprise. Rafa Mir. Vile Ben really used to like me. What is that for the Patreon stuff? Dear, I mean, let me explain about the Patreon. If you can sign up for Patreon, it's like $5 a month. Just helps me out. God, I've already dropped 100 and whatever quid on tickets for this weekend. So yeah, if you enjoy what I do, I don't make any money out of it. I'd love to one day, and I'd love to make money out of it all being on YouTube and not charge anybody anything. Longest drive from Bedford in the Championship, Middlesbrough, difficult one to get to. Millwall surprised with Connor and Scalak. If I could see you, I'd punch you in the nose. Goodness me, then you would be done for assault, sir, whoever did. Can I pay you in Ukraine HRV, says Paul. Of course you can. Hope Costa shins in one. Player with the most red cards, Ben Pearson, surely from Preston and his 1 million bookings last week. Right, let's call it quits on that. I may not be able to go live on Sunday. I might have to pre-record the review, but I'll try to because I'm going to get it off to Bristol. If not, it will be early in the morning. So do tune in. Thank you so much. We've already got 90 people in the feed. It's going to be a brilliant season. Let's make these previews and reviews really, really good. Who is this trolling here? Go away, the planet Randy. The goodness me, hey? We don't like that sort of thing here. We've got a lovely crowd here, all saying nice things, and one troll. There you go. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you all reviews on Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and we'll try and do a live stream on Sunday morning if you can all tune in. Let's do over and out goodbye, and thank you to everybody. See you soon. Bye bye.